long game is the interesting word. Two words there that I think we've all been reading the Three Body Problem, right? And the series. And one of the things that it's about is about planning for 500 years ahead.
Right.
And
Which makes it a very Chinese novel, frankly. Right? No, I'm serious. I'm serious. So the translation's phenomenal. But one of the things I really loved about that whole series was I felt like I got a view into modern China and I'll call it Chinese culture in a way that I don't otherwise. Right. So what you're just describing, right? That's a pretty Chinese perspective just right there.
But it sounds like what you're saying, Ben, in terms of burn it the fuck down, really is working through the system, playing a long game. So in a sense, you don't really want to burn it the fuck down and bring on the terror years of the French Revolution. It's not that chaos that increases volatility to the degree that Rodrigo was describing, which as a Brazilian myself, I also don't want to see, because you have a neighbor to your north, you see what's happening in Venezuela. You have this, and so I share that view. But you want to burn it the fuck down. So there a little cheese in the.
No, I really do. I really do want to burn some stuff down, right? Because I don't.
That's Neb. That's Neb.
I do not believe that you can change the system through incremental adjustment. I think that the system that we have set up today does not allow for effective change from within. That the rules have been so co-opted and dominated by the self-aggrandizing, rich people and powerful people, right? That change within the system is not possible, right? So that's when I say that I want to have a change of the rules. I want to have a constitutional convention. I don't think we're ready for that. I think any constitutional convention next week is just going to be co-opted by the same cast of characters. I think that there's probably a dissolution and a splintering that's required. But the person I look to for inspiration on this is, and I know this also sounds so ridiculous, but it's St. Augustine, right? Who's looking from afar at Rome, and it's not, a 5-year decline for Rome where it goes. No, it's it's centuries where Rome just kind of slowly winds down in the West and keeps on going for, centuries more in the East. But, he's writing out there, and what he's saying is that he has to separate himself. You got the city of man over here, and we've got the city of God over here. Again, I'm not talking religious, I'm talking purely secular worlds. We need to form our own community separate from this world that keeps trying to drag us in and try to force us to see everything in the world through their lens, right? The revolution is going to happen in our hearts first, right? It really is where the revolution happens first, and that's the hardest revolution of all. But I really do mean burn it down. I don't mean just reform the system. I mean a new system.
Not in our lifetime, right? Because
I don't know, man.
I'm trying to.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
The better for Ben, I think.
I'm hopeful.
Right. Well, I think where you're going is that the failed state is the result of a successful mission to burn it the fuck down, right? And so do we agree about that with that premise, Ben? Is that because I think that's where our South American guys are.
And you have an example in the Middle East right now. You took these terrible people who were oppressing portions of their population for sure, and they were bad actors definitely. And in the toppling of them, the chaos that ensued and the vacuum of power actually brought in something worse.
Belarus right now.
Like you have many examples of that. I'm just trying to understand how this could
guys we know what we've got the blueprint, right? It's not like we have to invent a new form of government. It's not like this is the mentioned Eric Weinstein earlier. Eric and his brother Brett's kind of whatever this Articles of Unity thing. I think it's silly. I think their heart's in the right place. I think it's like a high school senior decided to write political philosophy, and I mean that with a lot of love, right? But a top-down kind of new system of government, a new state, that's not it, right? That's not it, and neither is the strong man or the Lukashenko. We've got lots of models. Look, we know what it looks like, right? It really is liberty and justice for all, right? It really is these small L liberal virtues, these small C conservative virtues. It really is one person, one vote. It's all of those things. I believe, though, we're at the point where there's been so much detritus built up on this edifice that we had, 1789, that it doesn't. It's just. It's like one of these old master paintings where they say, oh, we're going to clean it off, right? And you say, oh my God, there's color underneath there, right? And it is like the painting comes alive after they just take all the gunk off from a couple of centuries.
Somebody wrote here
that
it should be the wolf pack as founding fathers 2.0. I like that.
Not wrong. Not wrong. I like that because the whole notion of the pack, right, is that you are and then here's some of these other kind of phrases, right? It is the clear eyes, full hearts can't lose, right? The pack is like a high school football team in Odessa, Texas, where that phrase comes from, right? Friday Night Lights. Clear eyes, full hearts can't lose, because you're this gets back, Adam, to what we were talking about before. It's finding those people who you want to be in the foxhole with, who see you as not as a means to an end, which is what every politician and every political party and every corporation today does. They see you as a means to an end. What I'm saying is that you find the people who see you as an end in and of itself. That's it. That's it. Find that pack. That's what a pack is. And that's how you create a society that has to come before you have a state, right? Before you have a government. You've got to have a society that works.
I agree. And I think this is kind of, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the way I sort of see it is we don't want to burn it the fuck down. I think the way that Rodrigo and Richard are coming at this, we don't want to burn it the fuck down because you get a failed state and you don't know what materializes after a failed state. But I think where maybe you and I, Ben, are a little closer to is the idea we're already in a fucking failed state that has been painted over by a fucking bull market.
You're out of your mind. Like, you don't know if this is a failed state,
in a failed state that has been orchestrated by a bull market.
It couldn't get worse than this, right?
No. I know it can get vastly worse, but I'm saying the idea that we have a functioning state.
No, for sure.
It's a broken concept. It is a broken.
That was a straw man. I was
painted over by a bull market. Period. Full stop.
Yes.
We have a luxury. We have a luxury here that I think many other countries are trying to create in Latin America, and that is a sense that you are a nation, frankly, and in the same way that I think the notion of a Peruvian identity I think is kind of finally maybe taking root. Right, it's declining in the United States. The idea of an American identity is
that's true.
Going down like
that's
this.
True. There is no doubt that you guys are on the downswing, 100%.
Yeah, right.
It's always, for me, it's always just how much you want to burn it down. Like, is it going to go like this? Can we inch it up? Because I'm just always terrified of that other scenario. And you know what I'm finding when I speak to my American clients and friends and even Canadians is, again, speaking from just coming out of reading the three body problem and planning 500 years ahead, is we've had legitimate discussions about like how far forward do you want to think when it comes to global warming, when it comes to Black Lives Matter. Like some of my friends are like, I care about my children, and after that I'm done. That's all I care about, because right now this is all I can control. Whereas in the past, when you saw a path forward, when you saw this a bit of stability in your future, you can plan. You can do estate planning. There's no estate planning in South America, right? Inflation you just cost whatever you get, you spend. Whatever you have, the friends that you have, you take advantage of them because they're going to be gone tomorrow to another country because they can't live in this place anymore. They're going to be shot or whatever. Like there is, I do see it in North America that people are becoming more and more insular, rather than thinking about, like, when you have stability, you have the luxury of thinking about 2, 3, 4 generations ahead. And I agree that there's a trend toward being more insular because of what's going on.
So there's, we talk about the American founding as being this exemplar because, like I say, we know what it should look like, right? Yep. There's another, great period of time. It's the Scottish Enlightenment, right? So it's in Edinburgh and Scotland, also in kind of the 1700s. And there was this guy there, the Scottish patriot. His name was Andrew Fletcher, and his quote was, I don't care who writes the laws. I care not who writes the laws of my country, so long as I write the songs. And man, that's what I want to do. I want to write our songs. And it's like, Lin-Manuel, right? I mean, he's writing the songs, man.
That's right.
And songs, of course, is a metaphor for the society that underpins
cultural
whatever
fabric.
You build. Exactly, whatever you build in terms of the edifice of the state and the like. And it's that society is where we've got to start, and you start. That means from the bottom up. It means pack the Fight Club analogy is I'm sticking with that, and that's how it changes. That's how the system burns down, or maybe that's how the system is rebuilt in a better way. I don't know. But if you've got that society in place, the rest of it, you're writing the songs. The laws will take care of themselves.